So I've been doing this kind of ab work on and off since I was a teenager. I don't know if it's going to be 15 minutes, but it's going to be about 15 minutes. So I do ab crunches in five variations. So one with the legs straight, and again, I don't come up all the way. I'm just using the abs. And I do it about 20 times to 30 times, depending on how energetic I'm feeling. And again, you can get a little bit more of a workout going slower, but it feels good to go faster too, so it's just depending how you're feeling. And it's very important when you're doing this, you keep the legs engaged and the abs engaged, and just feel what's happening with the body. And again, you're not pulling up your head. You probably know this. You're just supporting your neck so it's not strained. So you do that for about 20 to 30 times, and then you bend the knees and do that for about 20 or 30 times. And this is working a different part of the abdomen muscles. Before doing the next set here, I do the sides. So I straighten the legs, bend the knee, and cross it over, trying to keep the shoulder down. And this is a really good spinal twist. So I usually just hang out here for a minute, feeling all these muscles opening, and just the spine relaxing into this. And then you're gonna focus on this group here. And sometimes I do this too, which is good for the leg muscles and the sides. And again, kind of the slower you do it, the better the exercise is. Oh. Oh. And doing this stretch, you tend to stretch a lot of fascia in the... I always feel this fascia stretching in my arms. I do a lot of massage, so my arm fascia can get really tight. So twisting the arm when you're doing this, reaching, extending out through the arm can be really lovely. And if you are feeling really stretchy, flexible, you can grab your foot and extend through there as well. But again, this is just the spinal twist. It's good for your spine health. And then the third forward crunch that I do is, I used to do it like this, which is good, but lately I've been doing it like this, and sometimes I do this. And that's like the simple 5 crunches, right? One of the things, and folding a little bit of stuff in there from yoga, one of the yoga ab things that's just really, really wonderful, I call 30, 60, 90, because you straighten through the legs and you can have your hands down by your butt if you want to support yourself, but you get a better workout if your arms are up here and your shoulder blades are flat. And if you feel like your core is strong enough, which it looks like yours is, you can just start here, but you always want to move when you're exhaling. So you try to bring the legs up to about 30 degrees, you tighten the core, exhale, and hold it there for about 20 to 30 seconds. Keep the chin tucked, the neck long. And again, when you move, you want to do it on the exhale. 30, 60, 90. So this is supposed to be 60 degrees. So it's probably not really 60 degrees. If you have better geometry, you can do that, for yourself. 30, 60, 90. And then the 90 degrees is kind of difficult. And that you need a certain amount of flexibility in your back and your hamstrings and your calves to be able to do this with the legs straight. So the further my thighs come up, the more my knees tend to bend. And when you're doing 30, 60, 90, it's 20 to 30 seconds at 30 and 60, but at 90, it's 40 to 60 seconds. And so sometimes, there's a certain amount this is easier and a certain amount this is harder. And sometimes when I'm doing this, I'll let my knees bend to relax a minute, and then I'll push through the knees. Right now my legs don't feel as tight, so I can push through the legs pretty well. And just keeping it coming up, and again, feeling what's going on in the abs. It's a really good exercise, and you can do this 3 times in a row. Whenever you feel you're done, you can just relax for a while until you caught your breath and you feel like you've relaxed, and then you can do it again. Doing 30, 60, 90 3 times can take 15 minutes itself, but it's a good thing to work in at least doing once a day. And then when you're done with this, you exhale, bringing the legs down. And before moving on, you just want to relax here and let your abs relax and your legs relax. So I always do some ab work. I don't do this every day, but when I do this, one of the things I like about encouraging people to do this is you can do it at home. You don't need to go to a gym. You don't need to set up anything. You just need a floor and some space. It's not even very elaborate. But I like to do the ab work, and then I like to do some back work. It's always good to keep the back toned as well. And if you just do ab work all the time, you sometimes miss the back. So again, you might have just seen what I just did. Tucking your dick down so you're not crushing it, because you're going to be pushing your pelvis into the floor. So this is there's this yoga pose called locust, and you can do like a one-leg locust. And again, if you're like trying to strengthen your back or strengthen your legs, this can be really good. You're trying to keep your hips balanced or flat if you can, and lift one leg at a time. This is really good for strengthening the legs and strengthening the back. And you can either do leg lifts like I'm doing, or you can hold it. Just hold it up and see how that feels. So sometimes I do this, and sometimes I do both legs at the same time. And usually when you do that, you make a fist with your hands, with your thumb inside, and put the fists together under your body and lift both at the same time. And as you see, my chest is flat and my chin is extended on the floor. That's kind of the best way. And you try to keep your legs together as much as you can and just keep lifting them up. It's really good back work. If you feel inclined, you can mix up the back work. What I usually do every day, though, is a more simple full body locust, where you just lift your shoulders back and your feet and knees up. So the weight is on the pelvis. You lift the head up and back, and you just keep working with holding yourself up. You can do this for 20 seconds or 5 minutes, depending on how strong you are. There are variations you can do on this to make it like a crunch. You can roll the shoulders forward and back. Or you can just hold it up and maybe put the arms out. The more forward the arms are, the more weight you're putting in the back muscles. So you can also put your hands behind your head like that. Try to open the elbows. So that's good. And then I always like to do push-ups because everybody loves, sexy arms and sexy chest. And doing 15 push-ups at a relatively medium pace. Depending on how energetic I feel, I might do 3 sets of push-ups. I might do 3 sets of back bends. I might do cobra to stretch the abs. There's another really nice ab yoga pose called boat pose, where you sit with your legs straight and your core engaged and you hold your arms out, and then you lean back and lift the legs up. So it's a really good balancing pose. You get to play with your core, and obviously it's just really good for your back and your abs. And it's always this balance of trying to be relaxed and totally engaged. And then usually after this I'll do one of two. I'll do some ab opening yoga poses. And again, I don't know if you have a relationship with yoga, but one of them you lay on your back and roll your pelvis up and then walk your shoulders down so your hands can grab your ankles. You try to sit on top of your shoulders and just lift up the pelvis. So you see my neck is bent, my chin is tucked, and this is just opening the chest really nicely. It's called bridge in some practices. And again, you can hang out that in 20 seconds. Hang out in that for 20 seconds or much longer if you're feeling so inclined. And there's another, you can do side, this is called half camel. You're stretching the hips forward and the arm up and back and doing the spinal twist. Again, each of these you can hang out for in 20 seconds. But I'm just doing it quickly to demonstrate what it looks like for you. You can pause and study. And then the full camel is like this. And again, with the full camel, you're trying to keep pushing the pelvis forward, but you don't want to pinch the neck or the spine. So you're trying to keep the spine engaged and elongated, and the neck engaged and elongated. So if you drop the head all the way back, it might pinch. So you want to just kind of keep tucking the chin occasionally, letting the head drop back, but keep tucking the chin to keep the neck long. And sometimes you can hang out in that for 30 seconds. And then just laying on your back when you're done for a minute or two, just completely relaxing into the floor, completely relaxing all of your muscles. And doing variations on that, keeps your core engaged, keeps you strong, keeps your lymph flowing. And it's not a lot, and you can do it every day for just a little bit. It may benefit you and all your friends.